Greetings, Patrick here. New Year's Eve, and thought I'd go up for a little bit, say hi to some folks if they care to come by. Yeah, this wasn't planned, but since I'm up and got no place to go, I thought I'd just come out and hang out with you guys for a little bit. I know there's a lot of different streams going on tonight because of New Year's Eve, but hey, there's Tony. Hey, Anthony, how are you? Let's see. Yep, I saw that. I saw your picture from the library. You were working on your memoirs. Oh, so how's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody had a great Christmas. Can't wait for hey, it's Eric. All right. I actually sort of thought you'd probably be doing a live stream, you and Alex. Yeah, I sort of wish you guys were, to tell you the truth. I would have actually gone over and hung out with you two before just hanging out with me. Uh, hopefully everybody's doing well. Yeah, I had a great Christmas. Hopefully everybody had a great Christmas and looking, I got to tell you, 2025. I've only had one worse year than this. Since I've been here in Michigan. Wow, 2025 was just a hellhole, right? I mean, seriously. I think it's one of those things where if you put down a pros and cons list on everything went right versus everything went wrong, man, I don't even think it'll be close. But it is 2026, so we do have man, no doubt about that. It just absolutely the hits just keep coming and coming and coming, and yeah, I just gotta hope that 2026 has got to be a little bit better than this. Um, hang on to your friends and family tighter. Uh, that's right. That's right. I am actually going on the road on January 9th. I'm headed over to Eric's channel, and we're going to be doing an interview with Eric. I don't know, it's an interview. We're going to just have a discussion. We're going to talk. I think we can talk about a bunch of things this time, and we'll keep it fun. But I think I'm going to, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to his questions. That's been really, truly one of the highlights of the year. Has been watching Eric's channel, his interview show really progress. Started out strong and has just only gotten better. So it's one of the fun things to watch. Hey, Suzanne, how are you? I thought, hopefully you doing well. Hopefully you and Jim are have a great, had a good holiday. Of course, hopefully no rain either, right? Uh, yeah, that's crazy weather on the West Coast. I talked to my sisters in California. They're getting pounded with rain right now, even as we speak. We got snowed on today. We got a little bit of snow. When I when I when I looked outside, it wasn't seem that bad. And then I looked again, and all of a sudden I got snow on my trees. So that always tells me, when you have snow on the trees, you got some on the ground. That's for sure. Oh, it was a lot of fun. Holy crow! Look who's here. The Jackson Roykirk. What? Oh, from Dave's channel, Genome. Hell yeah! Happy New Year to you. Happy. Me and Jackson, we were the two proponents that Dave keep his orange cat. We were all about the orange cat. Show us the cat. Oh my gosh, how are you been, man? Brother Max in the house. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess there are some people that want to hang out a little bit. This is going to be a little bit more fun than I had hoped for. And Steven is here. Steven has been doing some live streaming too. He's got his live stream up and running. Very entertaining live stream. Now he just needs a couple of guests to actually stick when they tell him that they're going to come on the show. That's I've been seeing that. It'll happen for you, Steven. It will happen for you. But your live streams are really well done, so keep doing them. Yeah, don't thank you, Eric. I mean, thanks to you, I got to interview a hell of a guest in James Fury. Man, I couldn't have got that one on myself. Nope, couldn't have got that one. Not without some serious help. And thanks to Eric, I got to interview our first professional athlete on 8 Questions with, which is still going. I just got to. This is always my tough time of the year. So every time around this year, if you guys have been following me for any length of time, you know that December, I'm like a turtle, right? I just get all like this, and I just stay that way through December. But here I am on the other side of it, and yeah, I'm ready to talk to some people. Yes, yes, we will talk. We will talk. I'll be more active here. See, Suzanne says we've had beautiful unseasonable weather. Wow. Okay, so no big huge rainstorms. Great. No, Dave gave his orange cat away. Remember, he gave it to a relative after the cat broke through his ceiling. The cat broke through his ceiling. That oh my god, he had a really cool cat. That cat, he should have kept it. No, but I do know that he said that he had given it away to a relative. I believe he moved down to Florida too, if I'm not mistaken. I think Dave moved. I think he moved down to Florida, if I'm not mistaken. But I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him do anything in this year at all. I think I saw him like one or two times. Oregon, Suzanne says she's getting 2 kittens this spring. Make sure they're orange. You know, I do too, Jackson, and I really wish him well. I really enjoyed hanging out with him. He was really that was a fun show. That was a really fun show. We talked about everything over there. I missed the Saturday show too. We had the Saturday show, the Coast to Coast show, and I really missed that. That was with Ben and David and Phil and greetings, Jerry. Greetings. Is that okay? Make sure I. Oh no, that's not it. That's not. Gosh, my eyes. I have to. Well, I think one of the things I have to do this year is I have to have cataract removed. It is starting to affect my vision a little bit, so I will be on the lookout for to get my cataract removed. Yeah, I've been sort of noticing it lately. So I'm like, wow, okay, I need to have that taken care of. How was it? Did it help? Please tell me it did help. The good thing is I only have to have one eye done because my right eye is pretty useless. It, I really don't use it at all. It is wonderful. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's what I'll be doing that this week is looking for a doctor around here that does it and go have it done. Yeah, it's I guess the only good thing about it is I don't have to pay for two eyes. I can only just pay for the one. My left eye has always been the dominant eye. My right eye is I have a lazy eye and it's very noticeable. Actually, it's noticeable on here even with my glasses on, but if I take my glasses off, you'll see my eye go from here to go way over here. And I've had that since I was little. It is wonderful. Yeah, I don't want the LASIK surgery. That's one thing I'm gonna stay the hell away from. I do not want LASIK. I'm a little I'll be honest with you, that LASIK surgery scares the shit out of me. I've heard too many bad stories, and there was a lovely, lovely journalist that we had here in Detroit named Jessica Starr, and she was our meteorologist for a local TV channel, and she had the prettiest blue eyes, and she was such a nice person. You could easily tell she had such a nice person, and she went and she got LASIK, and ironically, is that she really didn't need it. She just wanted to tweak her eyes a little bit, but the surgery went horribly wrong, and she was in pain, constant pain, and she ended up killing herself. Um, horrible tragedy. And then I heard about a cop, the same thing. A cop got LASIK surgery, and it was so bad that he did the same thing. Um, LASIK scares me. You'll be amazed what you've been missing. That's what I've been hearing. I'm really gonna be aggressive about that. And I just want to get a good doctor. I just don't want to get one that knows how to do it. I want to get one that knows what he's doing. Let's see. Let's see. Steven says, I even tried to do Facebook live. I've never done a like Facebook live stream. Never done one. I did one through here, uh, but then they don't do that anymore. So, well, how's everybody's Christmas? Hopefully, you guys all got some loot. Looks like Suzanne's gonna get her two of her presents in the spring. Um, oh shoot, let's see. There's Nate. That's right. Watch Nate Chris at a Christmas parade. That was a lot of fun. I hung out with that for an hour. That was so much fun. Down in Texas, I believe. Was it no? Was it Texas or West Virginia? I always get that confused. Um, but Nate took his family down and did uh, to a Christmas parade. That was a lot of fun. Good people, great atmosphere. Nate got a ton of candy. Made me laugh. All right, Marty. Marty is here. Happy New Year from the future to 2026. Thank you so much, Marty. Appreciate it, and I appreciate you pushing other channels. That's something I'm going to join you and Dave Don Zombie at. I'm going to start doing that too. Follow channels. I used to do that all the time on Twitter when I was on Twitter. They used to have follow Fridays. That was used to be a big thing, and it's the same thing you guys do here. Is you just hype up other people's channels, people you really like that that you want people to hear. I know you and Don have been doing that for quite a while now, and I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's really fun, and so I want to get into that mix too. Start pushing some other channels every Friday. Let's see. Let's see. Two new grandchildren besides her two kitties. Man, that's awesome. Man, you're very blessed. It's going to be very blessed this spring. That's for sure. You get two orange cats, and notice how I subliminally am telling her this. Like you get orange. You got cats, orange, orange. uh, I'm very sorry about that, Stephen. I hope she gets better, my friend. We'll keep your mom in our prayers, Stephen, for sure. Yeah, man, this has been so I was actually gonna do this as a solo video, but man, I guess I still will. But I'll tell you something that did rankle my fur a little bit, and I'm just thinking to myself, of course, it will rankle my fur. It's 2025, right? So, oh my God, Twitter's. Yeah, I left Twitter years ago. Years ago. Didn't even look back at it. Yeah, that's just nothing but a sight of hate. Yeah. And see, wow. Yeah, trust me. Orange Cat. Look, I had Derek Jeter. I had Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter was a tuxedo. I love Derek. Derek was a fantastic cat, and he was smart as hell. Um, he really was. Paladin is he's all that in a bag of chips. He is not only the thing I think what Paladin has on Derek was the playness, the playfulness, because Paladin has always loved to play. Uh, Derek was a little bit, but not as much. He was more reserved. I mean, he was a great cuddler. I mean, I could watch that. I, he could curl on my chest and fall asleep in 5 seconds. Paladin used to do that. He doesn't do it so much anymore. He'll still watch TV with me, but he doesn't really curl up on my chest like he used to. But he does in bed. In bed, I can lay on my side, and he'll jump on the bed and he'll sleep in my arm. In my arm. But he doesn't really watch TV like he used to. But he still plays. He runs all over the house. Uh, hey Cheryl, Happy New Year! Happy New Year! All right, man. I didn't know anybody would come up here to hang out because, like I said, this is a pop up. I didn't mean for it to. I wasn't planning on coming up here tonight. I was thinking there's just so many other live streams going on with much bigger channels. Um, so I thought that's where everybody would be heading off to. But no, but you guys have all come over and said hello, and that's great. I was going to come up here for a minute because I was thinking about this. I was thinking about Jim's movie channels, and he did a live stream, or he actually did a premiere, which I guess it was probably be the smart thing to do. But he listed the movies that he watched in 2025, and he had 45 movies that he listed. And I thought that'd be interesting. I've never done that before. I've done a top 20, and I've done a bottom 10, but I've never listed all my movies before that I've watched. And I thought, I wonder if anybody would be interested in watching and hearing what I watched, because I watched some weird shit. I watched. I mean, I can guarantee you half the movies, between 50 to 75% of the movies that I list, you guys have never heard of. It's just um, I thought, wow, maybe you can come up here and list the 125 that I've seen so far, that I watched in 2025. But I'm going like, yeah, I don't think people really give a rat's ass about that, about my list. I don't know why. I was thinking, I think, would there be anybody curious? Because it is pretty interesting. But I thought Jim's list was really good. Um, and yes, I knew his number one movie before I watched it. He'd been talking about that movie a lot. In fact, I found myself I could relate to this because I talk about my favorite movies that I've seen all year long too. Uh, Zan says she watches crazy shit too. No, oh, that's awesome. Um, is there anything more? Yes. I will pick that. I will pick up that baton, Suzanne, and tell you that yes, there is a movie weirder than Eraserhead, and that is Skinamarink. Skinamarink is right there, guaranteed. But I love Eraserhead. Eraserhead is fantastic, and more and amazing that you watched it. Good for you. Good for you. That's a great movie. Not everybody gets it. Not everybody understands it. But just to watch it, well, shit, is she if Suzanne can handle Eraserhead, she certainly can handle the Human Centipede. But yes, I would sit there and say that Skinamarink was just as weird and just as tragic, actually. It's hard to believe we got a it's hard to believe we got one of our great directors out of that. If you just would have watched that, if you watched Eraserhead as your introduction to David Lynch, I don't know how many people would keep going to see a David Lynch movie. Of course, if they did, they'd be blessed for it because David Lynch was one of the greats. But Eraserhead was just it's nightmare fuel. I love the whole thing. I love that he shot it in black and white. Man, black and white is oh, the Centipede. Yeah, yeah, actually, the only thing I would tell people about watching the Human Centipede is this: if you're a fan of Silence of the Lambs, if you're a fan of that movie and Anthony Hopkins as Dr. Lecter, I tell you not to watch the Human Centipede because after you do, Silence of the Lambs suddenly becomes very less scary and more just like it's a good movie. It's a good movie, but it loses a lot of its punch because the Human Centipede hits harder. That's a disturbing movie. That's a disturbing movie. But I did watch a couple of corkers. I do got to talk about a couple of movies that I did watch this year because I would be totally remiss to not to. So I will share with you a few of the films that I watched um, this year because they're damn amazing. Now a lot of the movies I watched, there were some familiar ones. I won't lie to you. A lot of them I ran on Dollar Theater, um, which comes every Monday at 3 p.m. I watch a movie that I get for $1.25 or less, and then I talk about it. And there are some familiar titles there. I mean, not because if I did weird all the time, people would just peter out on that. They just sit there and say, "I don't know if I want to watch weird movies every Monday." So I do watch some older movies that everybody is familiar with. Happy New Year, Cheryl. Okay. But I will tell you the movies that I really enjoyed this year. Uh, two were two were really two were horror movies. Well, I guess one would say horror movies, one's a thriller. My second favorite movie of the year was No Tears in Hell, written and directed by Michael Cassie. That is a brutal movie on the same level as Human Centipede. So it is not for the lighthearted. Definitely not. Um, it is a straight out horror film based on a true story. Hey, Mark the Shark. Let's see. How do I say that? Hawaii, Malalaki. I think I got that one right. I think the only Hawaiian I know is Bookum Dano. I think that's the only thing I know how to say in Hawaiian is Bookum Dano. Um, No Tears in Hell was a terrific movie, dark as hell. Woo. Not for the, not for the, but I loved it. Great movie, really well acted. The lead actor, I told this story. I'll tell you guys here. So maybe I can get him to come on Eight Questions with in 2026. But I got to be honest with you, that guy scared me. It's like I told Michael Cassie, I'm going like, man, I don't know, man. That guy seems to gives me the creeps. And I mean, he's very good at it in his performance. And to me, it's like that's the highest compliment I could pay the young man because I've watched everything. Nothing really bothers me too much. I mean, some stuff does, but his performance in this movie was so good. Man, I was just like, I guess my first question would be to him would be, how the hell did you decompress after this movie? Because playing the character he did, man, you really got to get away into nature and just clean it out of your system. Um, No Tears in Hell was my second favorite movie of the year. My first favorite movie was a beautiful drama called When Jack Came Home with Lindsay Wagner and Mike Markoff. That was my favorite movie of last year. It's a beautiful, beautiful film. Very well done. Thor Moreno directed it, written and directed, and just lovely film. Um, and that is my number one film. And what's really interesting about that is it actually is a drama for a change instead of a straight out horror film. Because I've done a lot of horror films as my number ones. I don't know why it's not planned that way, but uh, this year horror finished second. um, my favorite movie was Jack Came Home. You can see that one on Tubi, and it was written and directed by Thor Moreno. And then the second movie, it hasn't really come. I don't. Yeah, it has come out. I don't know where it's being streamed at the moment, and that is No Tears in Hell. But that one is really, really violent. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up. I mean, it's a great movie, but it's not for everybody. It's sort of like last year's movie for me was The Coffee Table. My number one movie, hands down, but I could not recommend it for everybody. No, I think it would really disturb a lot of people. So I always gave a disclaimer about that, just like I did for No Tears in Hell. I think it's a great movie, but just not for everybody. And my third favorite movie this year was a thriller called Malicious. That movie is that movie's off the chain. That movie is bonkers. Um, Tremendous film. Um, Definitely directed by John Fallon, and yeah, uh, it's a corker, and it is a thriller suspense movie. But it again, it is, it's brutal. Um, but it's so well done, so well done, so well acted. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many times one would rewatch it. I rewatched it twice. It hits just as hard the second time and the third time as the first time. Um, yes, Jack Goes Home. That's a beautiful movie too. That's my number one film, and I can recommend that one to you, Zan. You'll have no problem with it. It's a beautiful film. And Lindsay Wagner. Now, see, you and me, we can remember Lindsay Wagner in The Bionic Woman. She looks lovely in this film. She looked. Honestly, I thought she looked better today in that movie than she did back in there when she was when she was doing The Bionic Woman. She aged so beautifully and still a good actress. I mean, so this movie really gave her something to sink her teeth into. Um, and it has one of my favorite stories on set, and that is when Thor mentioned and told to me that that one day during filming, um, Lindsay hired an ice cream truck, hired a ice cream truck to come out and give ice cream out to the crew. So there they are working hard, and this loaded up ice cream truck rolls up, and then they could go over there in between takes and what have you and get free ice cream. I thought that was beautiful. Let's see. What else did I watch that I really, really liked? Let's see. I saw some movies for the first time, movies that other people have seen before me, but this is just my first time watching them. And one of those movies was Mystic River. I had never seen it before. That was directed by Clint Eastwood and stars Sean Penn and Tim Robbins, um, and Kevin Bacon. Wow, that was a heartbreaker. I know, right? Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? The whole crew out there, and they shot in Iowa, and they mentioned the weather was pretty hot there. So, when they filmed the movie, they mentioned that how hot it was. So having an ice cream truck roll out there and take care of your crew, what a nice thing to do. Um, yes, I did like Mystic River. I thought it was very well done. Very well done. Let's see, what else did we watch? Uh, oh, Hunter x Hunter. For first time for me, I got to watch Hunter x Hunter. That would also be probably my top 10 that I've seen this year. Definitely, Hunter x Hunter was in my top 10 for sure. Um, Excellent film. We covered it. In fact, it's so good that we actually covered it twice on the ISC show. The first time we covered it, I didn't. I had a copy of it, but I only had a Blu-ray copy that wouldn't play on my TV on my player. So I missed the first time that we did it. And then it was being sold on Hamilton for for $4. So I bought a DVD copy, because I really wanted to see the movie. I really wanted to talk about it. So I asked Mary and Ben if we could go back and revisit it, and they were gracious enough to sit there and say yes. So we did cover Hunter x Hunter twice in the ISC show. Hunter x Hunter, watch. That's a great movie too. Man, Camille Sullivan. Man, she gave a hell of a performance. Great performance. Um, let's see. What else did we watch that I should mention? Oh, Greet Your Demons. Greet Your Demons from for a good friend Joe. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Oh, I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit more. This came out in 2025, and Joe Leone wrote and directed that. One of my favorite things, and this is a very good movie too. This is the case of a movie where you watch it, even though you know that, the movie's low budget, and you can see that when you go in and watch it, but you're not really there for that, right? You're not really there for that. You're really there for the story that's being told, and it's being told so well. And it's one of the best acted films I've seen this year. Really, really enjoyed it. Of course, Joe, again, he as he always does, he always finds some of the most talented ladies to come and do his films. Um, and he did it again here. He actually had a crew, a really, really strong ladies in this movie, including a former guest in Arena. Ah, oh, it's an Italian name. I always get this wrong. Bacagalupo. So Arena was there in it. Ramira Eve was in it, and of course, Sarah Jack was in it. She was terrific, and Adrienne Loren. Um, just and on another actress too, she popped up in here, and that is Asel Otitancheva. Oh God, I know I killed her name again. I always some of these ladies, some of these actors, I they could tell me their name, and as soon as the interview is over, I'll forget it. Hey, Frog's here. What's going on? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's, that's a really good movie. I really Grease Your Demons is a strong movie. I really do. I really liked it a lot. Uh, like I said, and act, don't let the because I know some people will be mentioning this, about the budget, but do not let that interfere with the film. This is one of those movies you just have to concentrate on the story and the acting. Like just know that going in, and you'll appreciate the movie so much more for it. And the fact that Joe's able to come out and create some really great movies that way, is one of those. He's one of those directors that you just want to sit there and say, give this guy a budget, give him $5 million and stand back and let him cook. He would make magic if he had a real budget. Uh, even if it was $4 or $5 million, he would just make something really magical. Um, Hopefully you're doing well. Okay, let's see. We got to watch Hangman, with the film's writer Michael Cassie, who wrote No Tears in Hell. Hangman was his first Hollywood project that got there, and he wrote it. And the movie Hangman is great. I really liked Hangman a lot. Um, I thought it was very suspenseful, very well done. Um, Al Pacino gave one of his better performances of late. I thought he was terrific. Carl Urban, Brittany Snow, Sarah Shahi, just absolutely a fantastic film, and it kept you on your toes. Um, that's a good one. Now I've had Hangman for quite a while. It came out in 2017. I have reviewed it before, but to get a chance to do a watch along with the man who wrote the book, who wrote the story, yeah, I'm there for that. Um, Simp, another really very well done movie. Uh, Trayman Hayho, him and I did a watch along for Simp. That also starred Mike Markoff, and yeah, that was very well done as well. Very interesting. Um, it must have sparked something too, because a lot of a lot of sensitive men got the feelings hurt in watching Simp. They got their feelings hurt, and that's just too damn bad. This is a great movie, based on a true story, and it's a cautionary tale. Um, and if you have young kids, young teenagers or whatnot, this is sort of like a movie that I would actually let my kids watch, because it's telling you that the internet is not always a nice place. Let's see. But that was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed doing a lot of watch parties this year with the creators of the films. It's a lot of fun to talk to them about it, and they tell you their perspective about it, and yeah, it's cool as hell. We did a few other films as well with the actors. Um, uh, I really enjoy doing that as well. Let's see, what else could I recommend that we watched? Sometimes we got overhyped movies. Last year, one of the early overhyped movies that we saw was Long Legs. Long Legs came out and it was super hyped up, and so me and the cheetah, we got a copy of it, and wow, we were underwhelmed. This It was not very good to us at all. I didn't really like it at all. The movie, the hook, so to speak, it was already exposed within the first 5 minutes of the movie. Um, I will say that Oz Perkins did a good job in making sure that Nicolas Cage wasn't on screen a lot, because this is a role where he plays Longlegs, and this is a role where easily could have gotten off the rail and got into camp, but Osgood kept a pretty tight leash on it and limited his appearance, which did help the film, but overall not too much because it just wasn't very good. And the big hook was, like I said, had already been revealed in the first 5 minutes. Um, yeah, not a big fan of Longlegs. Uh, another first time watch. I guess I'm going through this a little bit. So another first time watch was shocked a lot of people because they were like, "You're kidding me, really?" Yes, it really. I had not watched this movie until this year. Came out in 1982, and it was John Carpenter's The Thing. Um, I know the story. I knew who was in it. I knew everything about the movie except for the movie itself. Um, so I got a copy of it, and I did watch it. And yes, I thought it was a lot of fun. Um, is it as hyped as everybody thinks it is, or they look at it? Maybe I looked at this movie a little too late to get the same impact as people did with the first time they watched it. I thought it was a good movie, but I wouldn't. I mean, I've seen better. Um, I've seen better from John Carpenter, as a fact. And Escape from New York. I think that movie's just crazy fun. But I did enjoy watching The Thing. I thought it was great. I admire the hell out of the shooting, the location shooting. They didn't go on a stage, boys and girls. They were shooting in the snow. I think they did have a stage for some shots, but overall they were out there in the snow filming that. And wow. Yeah, shooting in the snow really. I don't. I have so much respect for any filmmaker and actors that go out there in the snow and act in it, because that's such a rough terrain to do it. Um, there's so many movies I think of with snow in it. In fact, I just watched one yesterday, which will be coming on. It'll be coming out on Dollar Theater in a couple of weeks, called The Frozen. And the young lady in there, Britt Morgan, she does most of her acting in the snow too. It's a snow setting, and she does a great job. Okay, okay, still got a couple of people here. What would happen if I shared this out? Maybe. I just think I came on too late. I think everybody's over other. I think everybody else is over at other channels. Let's see if I can sit there and say. Ooh. All right. I don't know. What about you guys? I guess anybody's watching this. The Thing, 1982. Jesus, we were still in high school. Um, I thought for what it was, I mean, Kurt Russell did a great job. Uh, you know, um, Keith David was there as well. He's had a great career as well as Kurt Russell. He's actually done a lot of cult films too. Now you think about it, with Keith David, he's been in a lot of good, solid films as well. Uh, Great actor, great actor. Uh, okay, what else did we watch? We watched Welcome to Mooseport, which I didn't know this when I put it on until afterwards, because we lost him last year, in Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman passed away last year, but I did not know that the last movie that he did was Welcome to Mooseport, which was a political comedy with Ray Romano, and it was a very funny movie. It was he was so good in it. I was so surprised. I had no idea. It was like, yeah, that's the last movie he did. And it's like, but 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 that was 2004. I knew he had retired to New Mexico. And I had actually seen him. They actually got him to come on Guy Fieri's show, dive-in diners and drive-ins. Um, let's see, was it? Yeah, diners to drive-ins and well, and yeah, he was on that show. Him and his wife, and Guy Fieri got to talk to him on camera and whatnot. But I never really thought about that. I just thought, oh, that was cool. They got him there, but I didn't realize that Mooseport had been his last movie, and and then wow. But what a way to go out on, because that movie was fun. Really enjoyed it, and again, it showcases that Gene Hackman, given the right script, he was a very good comedian. I mean, he could do comic movies very well. The Royal Tenenbaums being another one, even though he didn't particularly care for the shooting on that movie, but he gave a great performance. Yeah, no doubt, right, Suzanne? I mean, we've been watching him since he was just a kid. It's sort of like watching. It was like him and Ron Howard. I just feel like I grew up watching those two. Hey, Dominic, how are you, sir? Glad you're here. Glad you're here. I agree with that. We watched, gosh, I remember watching him in all those Disney movies. The boy who wore who the computer who wore tennis shoes, and the strongest boy in the world, and then he did TV series. Um, I remember the first time I saw him in one of his adult roles. He did Escape from New York, and I just was remembering like how shocked I was, because he came out just like he was not a Disney kid anymore. It was not Disney. He was definitely a grown up person. Um, and he just kicked ass. I cannot think honest. You think about it. You think about everybody has a weak performance in their career. Everybody does, right? Um, but I can't think of a single bad performance that that uh, uh, that Kurt Russell did. I can't think of a single one where I've looked at him and said, "Wow, he really sucked in this." I can't even say that about Gene Hackman, because Gene Hackman did some roles that were pretty bad. I mean, he didn't always get winners. Um, Flubber with Fred McMurray. How about it? I think it's so much fun is when you find someone like a Kurt Russell or Fred McMurray, and all you've seen them as is just pure Disney, rated G. Like Fred McMurray, that's how I saw him too. I also saw him do Good Sam. I saw him do like the Boy Scouts movies, and I always saw in My Three Sons, and you always saw him as the Swarm. He always the really nice guy. And it wasn't until I got older and got into older movies that I realized that, man, Fred McMurray, he plays some dastardly villains. He plays some really bad guys. Of course, Double Indemnity comes right up to mind, number one. But yeah, he didn't always play the nice guy. And it's always a shock to see that when all you see is these actors, and they come on, and you always see them in a certain light, and then when they stretch, it's such a shock. Uh, oh, thank you, and happy New Year to you as well. Ah, All right, I'll keep going here. This is okay. This sounds to be a lot more fun than I thought. This. I'll just keep it going here. With some movies that I watched. Got to talk about this one too because um, I rewatched it for the first time in like 30 years, and blown away. Um, Rewatched the first Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers. Um, hadn't seen it in, like I said, 20, 30 years. I just hadn't watched it. And so when I rewatched it, wow, that movie is a lot better than I remember. I mean, that movie is good. And not because of the creature, but just for the acting. Man, I got the feels for that. Watching those men fight and die together for each other. Um, I mean, you could really sense how much they were friends. Um, it was a man's movie, you know, Dylan and Arnold Schwarzenegger doing their famous handshake. You know, but man, that movie has heart, has a lot of heart. And I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting all that macho bullshit dialogue, I'm gonna eat this thing for breakfast. But it wasn't like that at all. Um, and I was thinking to myself, I remember the creature, fighting Arnold, but that's really about all I remembered. And then I rewatched it. I was just so surprised at how good it was, and I actually had some emotion to it. And I just like, um, I'm not too surprised by that in one regard because like we're talking about some of the older actors like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and a lot of people poke fun of his accent, but Arnold Schwarzenegger has had a lot of depth to him. He really did. He was not afraid of showing his emotions. And a lot of actors, um, Dwayne Johnson, a lot of actors are afraid to show their heart. They're afraid to be seen as a lesser character. Well, my guy wouldn't do that. Uh, uh, which one? Which young man? One of the things I didn't realize too was that Shane Black was in this movie too, and Shane Black has went on to become a very prolific screenwriter and wrote some of the bigger action films of the 80s and 90s. Yeah, Disney movies, man, Disney actors. That's always an interesting topic, right? I mean, it's so interesting. Um, from Edward Furlong. Well, Edward Furlong, yes, he did definitely have a hard time. He definitely has. But as we speak today, New Year's Eve 2026, I believe the young man has been sober. From what I remember, he's been clean and sober for 7.5 years now. He's done some interviews. He did one with Michael Rosenbaum, and yeah, he's got 7.5 years of sobriety underneath his belt, and I could not be more happy. I could not be more happy for him. Um, he has overcome quite a bit. Um, yeah, he definitely had a struggle. Um, there's been a few actors like that. Like God, like I was blown away when I found out that Dennis Quaid, he fell into addiction, and I was so surprised to hear that. And he got himself back up, back on his feet, and I was glad to hear that. But yeah, he got himself. There was a time where he disappeared, and he's back. He's working. He looks healthy. Um, of course. And then Peter Green, who just passed away recently, he also made it back. I think he made it back. Um, it's looking more and more like initially what was thought as a fall in his house is looking more and more like he might have got murdered. Yeah, Dennis Quaid got into yeah, he got into crack, became a crack addict. It was at a party. It was at one of those Hollywood parties, and someone gave him someone, and he got it. It's out there. I mean, you look on the internet. It's I didn't know that until I saw an article, and then I chased it down and found out that's what happened. He got addicted to crack. Peter Green, he got into serious trouble too. He got into he was heavy into he was a heroin user. In fact, uh, in fact, one of the directors walked in and saw him and another actor shooting up. I don't. I was like, that's that's rough. I'm thinking. I was gonna think if you're a director, of course, Tom Sizemore was a well-known addict, and even when he was doing Saving Private Ryan, and Steven Spielberg had him tested, and he told us, if you come up dirty on one test, you're done. You're out of this movie. And Spielberg tested him just about every damn day, and he said it could be whenever I want it to be. So if I decide to have you do a test at 11 o'clock at night, you're going to do it. I think Steven Spielberg was really tried hard to save his life. I don't think he was worried about his movie. I think he was worried about Tom Sizemore. Oh, great! Have a great New Year's for sure. Let's see. What else did we watch this year? Uh, oh, that's right. We did Sharks versus Slock. Um, I got asked to watch Munchies, and that was not very that was not very good. Though I do give Harvey Korman a thumbs up for his acting, but that movie was not very good. Another top 10 movie for me was Flux. Flux, that was good. Oh my gosh. I don't know if some of these movies I got to follow up on and see if they got physical releases. Some of them I did not like. No Tears in Hell and Malicious and Flux. Um, they were all either screeners or on streamers. I'm not sure if any of them got physical releases, which I really hope they do. I really, really hope that they got physical releases because they deserve it. Because Flux was great. Fantastic job. Shiloh Fernandez just on fire. Uh, just and we got a chance to talk to him on Eight Questions with. We went really deep into this movie. It's a good one. Um, uh, uh, um, and I'll tell you, I want to say if I want to get his full name right. So Shelly Henning was in this film. She did a great job as well. This is written and directed by Brendan Michael Murphy. Uh, Brendan Gabriel Murphy, and yeah, and co-written with let's see if I say this name right, Keontae Bayfield, and Brendan Gabriel Murphy wrote it. Terrific film. Really enjoyed it. A lot of twists and turns on this one. This one will keep you guessing to the very end. This is a movie that stuck its landing. Sometimes you get into that. Sometimes you let's see. Has Shane Black directed anything after the Predator? Wow, that's a good question. Let me bring him up and I'll tell you. It's interesting too when you type in his name in his IMDb, the very first movie that shows up is Predator. That's interesting. Let's see. Director. He's done 7 projects. Okay. Okay. Well, it says here, this is interesting too. I didn't know this, but we just talked to an author, Win Scott Eckert, and him and I were talking about Doc Savage. And it says here that he's attached to it as director for Doc Savage, but development is unknown. I know there. I know there was talk about Dwayne Johnson stepping up there and doing Doc Savage, but I think that went away. He has done Play Dirty. He did The Predator. He directed The Nice Guys. That's a good movie. That was actually a really good book too. He did a movie called Edge. He did Iron Man 3. Yeah, did not like Iron Man 3. Ooh, did not like that. Though probably not more of his fault though. I'm sure it really, but I did not really like Iron Man 3 too much. Yeah. And he also did a movie called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which Robert Downey Jr. did, I believe. That brought him back into Hollywood's light. Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. Let's see. Let's see. What else did we have? What else did we watch? We watched Ghoulies 3. Ghoulies Go to College. That was part of our Schlocks versus Sharks week. And our good friend Eric gave me Ghoulies 3 to watch. And he really thought I was going to hate this movie. And I thought it was funny as hell. And had some really, had Matthew Lillard in it. I think that was his first role. Had Eva LaRue, had Hope Marie Carlton. And a cat ghoulie. Had a ghoulie that looked like a cat. How could you go wrong with a movie like that? And then it got a physical release of a Vestron collection. They released Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College. It also starred Kevin McCarthy, who was of course is a science fiction god. So that was a lot of fun too. See, me and the Mighty Casey, we watched Wrath of Damajin. That was a lot of fun. We hung out with Spider Dabrowski. We did a watch along with him for Teardrop, which was the first original movie made for Tubi, and Spider wrote it. Teardrop, which was a very interesting movie, very well done. The only thing I wish they could have done was had a little bit more action toward the end. It seemed like the movie it went along to like the last 10 minutes and then it got busy. And I do sort of wish they had gotten busy about 20 minutes before the ending to, so we could, so they could have been paid off a little bit more. But overall, I thought it was really well done and really well written, and I enjoyed it. And talking with Spider about it, we watched Reap, and that was also another watch along party with Joe Leone. Joe Leone came on and watched that with us. That movie was a yeah. Joe knows what he's doing. Like I said before, give this guy a budget and cut him loose. I'm sure he would come up with some really seriously fun. He comes up with some really seriously good movies. Let's see what else. Let's see. Um, I watched a week of Mark Polonia movies this year. I haven't done that. I didn't do it last year, but the year before I did. We did Polonia Week. We teamed up with House of Horrors, Steven, and we each did a week of Mark Polonia movies. And so I thought this year I'd do the same. I'd do it again. Um, so I went ahead and I watched 5 movies, and I got to tell you, one of the movies that I watched, which was called Once Upon a Time in Amityville, is hands down my favorite Mark Polonia movie. That movie is so good. That I know a lot of people will look at the title, the Amityville title, and just like roll their eyes. I understand that because I do the same thing, right? I do. I admit it when I wasn't expecting anything from Once Upon a Time in Amityville. I just thought it'd be I thought it'd be solid indie filmmaking. Mark Polonia. There might be some comedy in there, what have you. But Once Upon a Time in Amityville is by far the best movie I've seen from Mark make, and that was a very good movie. I would recommend that movie. Very much so, very much so. Um, let's see. Amity Exorcism had a great performance by. That was also another good movie. I really like that as well, and that had Jeff Kirkendall in it, and that was well done as well. Let's see. Yes, I made myself rewatch Ghost of Mars. Actually, I put that up for vote, and you guys voted have me watch that movie. That was from for Dollar Theater, the Voters Edition, and yeah, you guys had me watch Ghost of Mars, so we did that. It was the same as I said before. It was awful, not good. My least favorite John Carpenter film. Um, let's see. We did some westerns as well. We did a couple of Tom Selleck movies. One we did was called Last Stand at Saber River, which was excellent. That was a lot of fun. Another western we did that we had a tremendous amount of fun with, and the wardrobe of this movie was the best of any movie I watched this year. The wardrobe was the wardrobe was actually, I swear, it was award-winning material. Um, and that was The Wide West, starring our good friend Alexander Nevsky, and directed by Joel Cornell, and also co-star Tatiana, um, uh, who's Alexander's soulmate, and Tatiana Neva. And the wardrobe and the story is interesting. The story is based on a true story about a samurai who comes to the United States, and he ends up becoming friends with the president. The story is slightly different as they had 2 samurais who came to the U.S. on the way to Washington, but their train got derailed, so they had to stay in this little town while it was getting fixed, and then they run into all sorts of shenanigans. But the wardrobe for that movie is off the chain. It's absolutely stunning. Um, you think of British period pieces, like Downtown Abbey or Outlander or Bridgerton. I would match the wardrobe up from this movie with anything that they offer. Just absolutely stunning. Um, and I, I think it was well done. I do remember that the only thing I probably would have liked to see is just a tiny bit more action from the samurai, from the sumo wrestlers. They say samurai. Um, their manager was like a samurai, but the sumo wrestlers. Um, I wish they just had just a little bit more action. That's really the only thing. That's really my only really complaint. They did have a scene where they did, they showed an exhibition, which is absolutely true to life. From how everything you saw them do is exactly how it's done in Japan today. Nothing was made up for the camera or for Hollywood purposes. That is exactly how it's done, and so very well done for that. Um, but but for my review, I just said I just wished I just had a little bit more action. That's all. Uh, but but and the movie is that movie actually has turned out to be quite a hit. It is very well. It's been very well received around the world. Um, People are really responded to it, and it's done very well for Joe and Alexander. I'm really glad to hear that. Um, the fact they're still out there talking about it. They're still out there promoting it. Um, uh, and I'm hoping that this year, 2026, we'll see a return to Rio Bravo for the third film. But after the Wild West finishes its promotion run, it's still being rolled out in some places, and has really taken off on streaming. Exumo, which is a Universal Comcast streaming service like Tubi. It is very popular there. Very popular. It's been the feature film of the week many weeks now because people keep coming over and watching it. So highly recommend it. Okay. Let's see. Okay, here's a couple more here. God, actually, I did watch some really good movies this year. I have to admit, I watched a lot of good ones. Um, I know this movie, the movie I mentioned now. I know it made a lot of people's bottom 10 list, and I get that. I really do. And that is the Naked Gun reboot. Man, people. I thought that was actually. I thought people really were gonna like that. I personally did not. I seeing Liam Neeson as a comic. I mean, it was like, okay, it worked for Leslie Nielsen, but Leslie Nielsen had years to perfect it. He was doing some broad comedy after Airplane, and then he was just kept on doing it. He basically after Airplane, Leslie Nielsen, who was known as a serious actor, including the classic Forbidden Planet. Um, he didn't just become. He worked hard at becoming a comedian. Airplane launched him, and then he kept on doing a lot of those comedy movies. Some were a hit, some hits, some were really bad. But that's what he embraced it because that's wherever he wanted to see him as. I just wasn't really so sure that Liam Neeson could pull this off very well, and I guess a lot of people he didn't. I didn't watch it. I have not seen it come through the library. I would invest a quarter in it if it did. I would invest a quarter. Um, but the movie I'm talking about is again, it's so unlike what Liam Neeson has done lately. He's done a lot of those straight to video action movies. He's basically playing the same part every role. But he did make a very good drama film called Made in Italy, which came out on IFC. And I watched that and I reviewed that. And he co-starred in that movie with his son, Michael. Um, it's a beautiful film. Wow, I really enjoyed it, and it just has me shaking my head as to like, how come he can't do more of these movies? I mean, he's a fine dramatic actor. That's how he gets. It's give him his due. Give him some serious. Give him some dramas to do. He's pushing 70 now. He's not going to be he's not an action hero anymore. All right. Next up that we watched and we talked to is Jamie Langford. He is the director and writer of The Cellar, and we talked to him, and we really enjoyed The Cellar. Um, uh, indie horror from the UK. Very well done, very well done. Um, a lot of twists and turns, and really enjoyed watching it. And brave too, for a lot of independent directors to end his movie the way he did. Um, you know, uh, realistically, I thought was a brave choice, and yeah, I really enjoyed The Cellar, and glad to see that a lot of other people in our community have discovered it. Um, I know that Lady Sasha interviewed Jamie Langford. She interviewed him on her show, and I thought that was really cool. So shout out to Lady Sasha for doing that, because he's a fine director. He's one to keep an eye on. Um, the ISC Midnight Show, we had a ball this year. We had a ball. We had so much fun. We've done some really good movies, including the call, and we rotate the show. So it's Mary Wilson, Ben, and myself, and then we pick a movie every month, and then host it. Whoever picks it hosts the show, and so we decided to stretch our wings a little bit, and so, because Shutter and IFC are basically one and the same company, they're owned by AMC, and they consolidated Shutter and IFC, and I think they pretty much have. I'm not 100% sure, so I can't say for sure, but I think they have actually probably shuttered, or they shut down ISC Midnight. They're still doing ISC movies, but they're going to let Shutter do the horror arm. Um, Personally, I wish it would have been the other way around, but Shutter does have a streaming channel up and running. It does have a popular host in Joe Bob Briggs, and the movies do get wider release. So, with the Shutter name attached to it. So, as far as that goes, but I think Shutter is very much like Bloomhouse in that they're very hit and miss, like 50-50. There might be one good a Shutter movie, but there might be one bad one. Where I feel the ISC, there's like 90%. Nine, out of 10 movies, 9 are going to hit great. Well, there might be one bummer in there. I just feel like the person who does the ISC buy-in does a better job. But we decided to do Shutter movies as well. And so we ended up watching a movie called Anything for Jackson, which was picked by our good friend Ben from Cadaver Club, master of all kaiju, co-master of all kaiju, him and Mighty Casey. And that was a lot of fun. Man, that was a cool ass movie. Did not expect anything like that. It's a Canadian horror. I even had Yannick Bisson on it. I recognized him from Murdoch Mysteries. I was like, wow, all right. This is great. He had a nice little role in it. So I thought that was really well done. I'm all right with us doing a Shutter. I think I think it works out. I still got plenty of ISC movies to talk about, but Shutter, there's a lot of good Shutter movies to talk about as well. Let's see. What else did we do? Uh, First time watch for me was The Black Coat's Daughter. I finally got around to seeing it. I've had it in my collection for years. Never watched it before. This is Oz Perkins, I believe, his first movie, and yeah, Oz Perkins. This is my favorite of his movies right here. Just tremendously well done, very well done. Um, Spooky, eerie. Sharon Kipka was stole every scene she was in. Really enjoyed watching her performance, and of course that's also A24. And yeah, I thought The Black Coat's Daughter was really strong. And my first, we also did some A24 stuff too, other A24 stuff too. And another one we did was Cut Bank. And that's a terrific movie. That's probably my second favorite A24 film after Remember. Um, so much twists and turns, great performances by everybody involved. If you haven't seen Cut Bank, you definitely owe yourself. If you're a fan of noir movies, you definitely want to check it out. It's one of the best ones that you'll see. Let's see. Now I can tell you some of the bad movies I watched. I did watch a few bad ones, and probably for me, my number one was Presence. Holy shit, what a car wreck movie that was. Steven Soderbergh, I don't know what he was thinking, but not much because this movie was trash. And I was so disappointed to hear that because I had such had Lucy Liu in it, and that's reason why I'm really excited about it because have her do a horror film is like, yeah, I want to see that. Um, and so I went ahead and I got a copy of Presents, and I was like, this is going to be great. And I sat down, and I was so disappointed in it. The ending made no sense at all. Um, People were confused with the ending, as far as I'm concerned. They thought that it was the son that would turn to be the ghost. It wasn't the son. It was the friend, and had been the friend all along. Um, but it was still a really bad movie and didn't make any sense. And just really let down by that movie, and one of the worst I saw this year, by far. Um, our friends from Cinephobia releasing, they put out a film called Brute 1976. Um, there's parts of it I liked. And I think the problem with me watching Brute 1976 was that it came out about the same time that I got to watch No Tears in Hell, and I watched them like back to back, pretty much within the same week. And I don't think it was really fair to Brute 1976 because it's a solid horror film. It's definitely a love letter to The Hills Have Eyes and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But it just was to me, after watching No Tears from Hell, it just seemed to me a little bit pedestrian. And I was really sort of surprised that I was surprised because up to that point, I have yet to see a single Citophobia or art exploitation film that I was not super hyped on. Super hyped. Last year, The Coffee Table was my number one film, and that was from Cinophobia Releasing. The year before that, my number one film was Brightwood, and that also was Cinophobia Releasing. This year, Brute 1976 is very solid, but not spectacular like I'm used to. I guess I was spoiled. I got spoiled by their releases. Some people will really dig it. Sarah French looked great in it, and the young lady, her co-star, was terrific in it as well. But it just didn't hit me as well as other previous releases have. So another trash movie. So another trash movie, and I've seen this make a lot of people's lists already. I saw people talking about their bottom 10 or 20, and this movie seems to be making a home of those lists. And well, who am I to disagree? But one of the worst movies I saw last year was definitely Flight Risk. Y'all need a pilot? No, we all need a movie to watch because this was some bullshit. This was horrible. Mark Wahlberg with a goofy ass haircut. Um, Mel Gibson directed, and he must have, it was all green screen. It's all green screen. Um, it looked like it got made in 4 days. Wasted talent, which is a critical thing for me. I don't like it when directors waste talent. Um, because Topher Grace was in it, and he wasn't bad, and I really like Michelle Dockery. Um, Man, there's no softness in that girl. That's for sure. I mean, every time you see her, you just like, man, like if you went to shake her hand, you need to check it afterwards, make sure you didn't lose it, because she looks mean all the time. I know she was in Downton Abbey, I but here. She was not, and that's not necessarily. It's actually the saving. Not wouldn't say the saving grace of the movie, but I did like her performance. I mean, it wasn't her fault, um, but definitely Mark Wahlberg's fault for wearing that stupid haircut. Um, yeah, that movie was some trash. It's just like Mel Gibson. I don't know what he was drinking because you know he was. Don't know what he was drinking when he made that movie, but it was horrible. Uh, did not like it at all. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So we watched Steve Wes Craven the same year that he made the same year that he made Nightmare on Elm Street. Um, he did a TV movie called Invitation to Hell, and I caught that one on Tubi. And wow, how much fun was that? That movie was a lot of fun, made for TV movie, starring Robert Urich, Susan Lucci, Joanna Cassidy. Um, wow, it was so cool. It was really different, and I really liked it quite a bit. And it was very suspenseful, very well made for a TV movie. And it was the same year that he ended up making Nightmare on Elm Street. He directed three movies in 1978, right? 1978 and or 1984. I'm sorry, 1984, and one of them was Nightmare on Elm Street, and the other one was one of the other ones was Invitation to Hell. Well, that was a lot of fun. I was not expecting it to be nearly as good as it was. I'm a huge Robert Urich fan, and I have a lot of his work in my collection, and really enjoyed this as well, and pleasantly surprised by it. All right. Let's see. Next, we watched a movie which I'm going to be speaking about, I'm going to be reviewing and cutting loose on. We watched a movie called Waspzilla, and I will be talking about that in detail in a few weeks. That movie is going to be it's going to be on Dollar Theater soon. So I'm going to wait before I comment on that any further. Um, I got a public domain doubleheader that from the library. Meet John Doe, that was directed by Frank Capra, and my man Godfrey. And I did those two back to back. They're both from the 30s, and really enjoyed both movies. Both movies were excellent. Two of my favorite of the year for sure. Very well done, and man, I do enjoy going back to the classics, to the 30s, the 30s to the 40s and the 50s. I do enjoy talking about them because they don't get talked about a lot, but but I like going back and taking a look. And this year for sure. In fact, I do believe soon I'm going to be putting up my Thin Man series, and we're going to go through the Thin Man series on Dollar Theater. I have all their movies. I got the whole collection at the library for $1. For the whole for all the movies. So we're going to be going through that this year. I said that I thought we were going to do it last year. It just didn't happen. But this year I'm making it my priority to cover the Thin Man series because it's terrific. Um, then we watched from ISC. We watched Save the Date. That was a really good movie too. Really like that. Um, and very well done. Very moving. Science fiction movie, the Guest, starring Dan Stevens. Wow, that movie was. I didn't really particularly like the ending of it per se. I didn't really like the ending, but I liked the beginning all the way up to a certain point. Really enjoyed the movie quite a bit. Um, I thought it got a little mean spirited at the end, and unnecessarily so. But I did like it, and Dan Stevens was terrific in the role as the guest. Um, a lot of people think this is a horror film, and it's not a horror film necessarily. And it's not your typical suspense. It's a science fiction film. It's actually a science fiction film, and a lot of people they neglected to market it the movie that way. I think they went straight for horror or action but it's science fiction and it's interesting. And unfortunately, it didn't do as well at the box office as I thought it would have. And so I don't know if we'll ever get a second one. I doubt we will. We would have had it by now. But I definitely recommend The Guest. Let's see. Let's see. We watched Hobo with a Shotgun. Um, that was fun. Rutger Hauer. Um, that was just exploitation, and he enjoyed it very much doing the film. The director's commentary is fire. Highly recommend getting this movie for the commentary. The movie is great, but the commentary is where it's at. That's really where it's at. Check out the commentary for Hobo with a Shotgun. And that came out on Magnet, and Magnet is part of Magnolia. We really don't talk about Magnet too much as far as distributors go. That's a shame because they put out some terrific movies. I have a few Magnet films, and yeah, I probably should do a little bit more of those. Let's see. We're almost done here. We're almost done. We revisited The Negotiator. You guys voted for that on Dollar Theater Voters Edition. That was with Kevin Spacey and Samuel Jackson. Badass movie. Badass movie. It's good to see. Good to be reminded how freaking strong Kevin Spacey is. Um, Terrific actor. Really hoping that he can work his way back to the mainstream because he deserves it. Because he's innocent. He was innocent. He was found innocent not once but twice. Um, and of course, the bad press ruined his career unfairly. That's what happens when you get judged in the public eye and not in the courts. Um, but again, we got a chance to see just how good he is, along with Samuel L. Jackson. We just covered a movie. One of the movies we just covered was Haunter. And this year we found ourselves watching a lot of Stephen A. McHattie, Canadian actor, fine Canadian actor, character actor. He has done so many movies. He's a horror icon that no one knows about. But we watched a lot of his movies this year. We watched Haunter, we watched Z, which was a great movie, and we watched Pontypool. Pontypool was a terrific film. We covered on IFC Midnight, and yeah, we're going to be talking more about Stephen McHattie later on this year, I'm sure. What else did we cover? We covered Ocean's 11 with the original Brat Pack. That was a lot of fun. A little draggy, but once it got rolling, it got rolling. And the ending of that movie was one for the books. And then the last movie that we watched, I can't really tell you about the last two movies we watched because they're coming up on Dollar Theater. Those are just some of the movies that we watched. Me and the Cheetah watched. We're looking forward to. Hey, Happy New Year! Happy New Year's to you as well. Just going through some of the movies that me and the Cheetah watched. We watched 125 of them, and it didn't cover everything, but we covered some of them, the highlights, and a couple of lowlights. Thanks, Mark Wahlberg. Um, actually, I have to sit there and say, I think if I had the one movie I was probably more disappointed in was probably Presence more than Flight Risk, because I didn't. Flight Risk is just that wouldn't have been something I actually would have went and saw. I would have waited for that to come home. But Presence would have been a movie I would have watched at the theater, and I would have been really disappointed by that if I had done that. Really disappointed. But we got a ton of new movies from 2025. We had a really good ending to the library halls. Um, and we got a ton of new movies to talk about, including Weapons, which was on everybody's mind this year. Uh, I know it made a lot of people's final, top 5 movies. It's not the first movie. Between Sinners and The Long Walk, I think that Weapons was probably in the top 3 for most horror fans. I haven't watched it. Won't be watching it this year. We'll be covering it next year. Supposedly, there's a prequel being made. I don't know why you're doing a prequel. We already know who Gladys is, but that's just how Hollywood works. Um, as far as anything coming this year in 2026, um, hey, what's going on? Uh, man, man, no doubt, right? The college football. Well, my Spartans tanked. Um, they just they got off to the wrong start from the first game and never really recovered. They really never did. And then it seemed like the team quit when they played Nevada. They just seemed to quit. Um, I think our quarterback got hurt. Um, he got hurt and he never really recovered. And yeah, Hawaii looked very good. Hawaii looked very good. Love the fact they came back and beat Cal. Um, I thought that was really impressive. They did that. Of course, now we have to sit and wait for Friday um, because that's when the portal opens, and we're gonna watch teams. They got to fix the portal. That's just all there is to it. The portal has to be, and people they're commenting how college football is dying, and it's the coaches. The coaches have really they created the portal. The coaches did. Um, I hate the portal. I hate it. Did you hear this? I saw this in the news today. Do you know how many how many members how many members remain on Iowa State's football team? If they were to play tomorrow, do you know how many players they could count? 16. There's only 16 players on Iowa State's team right now. They all left. There's over there. I mean, I think there was like 16 are graduating and 42 hit the portal. They couldn't even play. But yeah, the portal was absolutely broken. And all it is just now the group of 6. It's just now it's just they're the minor leagues. Uh, and all the big programs with all the money goes over there and buys them after we develop them. Yeah, well, Matt Campbell, he left to go to Penn State again, and this is why we have the portal. It used to be where you sign a contract and you stayed. You stayed. We're going to sign you to a 5-year contract, and here we go. And I think and it's like I really think the schools need to pay the coach. I mean, if you're gonna, they need to hold the coaches responsible to this. Like you can't run the first time you have a good year. Yeah, that's all they are. All they're doing is rating all the rate. I mean, here you go. You're spending time, resources, and money to recruit players to come to your program. Now, and the thing is to the players, they sit there and say, "We recruited you. No, it wasn't Alabama that recruited you. We did. Hawaii, we recruited you. We believed in you. We wanted you to play for us. Alabama didn't. But here, 2 years later, all of a sudden, or a year later, all of a sudden, now it's like here they come saying, "Hey, why are you playing for this small school when you can be playing for us and getting money and getting paid?" And what about the school that's going to spend all that time developing, getting you in good habits, having you hit the weight room, getting you a good table, to nutrition, all that stuff that these smaller schools are doing, and then the big schools just come by there and flash their wad of ESPN cash, and then they take the players. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. But the coaches are responsible because and it's got to the point where when a head coach speaks, that old line. You know how a football coach. You know how you can tell when a football coach is lying to you. His lips move. Every single group of 4 coaches is like that. I don't like any one of them. Not a single one. There's not a single coach on the big level that I can sit there and say, yeah. I feel bad for the small ones. But you got to honor your word. You got to honor your word, and that's why we don't have. That's why we don't have football anymore. You get these kids to come over there and say, "Hey, come play for me in Hawaii because we want you to play there. We believe in you." Yep, yep. And I tell you what, if the new Big Ten, if they think that they're going to be a group of 5 to school, they're sadly mistaken. They're going to be just like us. They're a group of 6 school. They are not big time. They are not. Washington State, Oregon State. Nobody wanted you guys. Nobody. You guys should have just joined up with the Mountain West. Should have just joined up with us instead of causing the division. Should have just jumped in with us. Would have made a stronger conference instead of raiding us. And I don't like the schools the Mountain West got to replace them. That's just some mud. I mean, Northern Illinois and UTEP. Could you pick even? Then I heard people saying, why don't you get New Mexico State too? And it's like, why don't you just since you're leaving the building last, turn off the lights. Nobody wants New Mexico State. Nobody wants UTEP. Nobody wants Northern Illinois. Nobody wants those teams. You should have fucking went after you should have went after the Dakota schools. That's where you should have went. You should have went after the Dakota schools. See what North Dakota and South Dakota State wanted, and then see if you can make it happen. Because you could have. The Mountain West could have made it happen. Because those schools are only good in one sport. They're good in football, but the rest of the sports, they're not very good. Baseball, basketball, anything else, they're just not that good at. Hockey, okay, but no one plays hockey in the Mountain West. So, but you should have went to and made and see what how, but they didn't. Hell, I wish they would have. I wish they would have invited all 4 of them, both North and South Dakotas. Did they end up losing? Last I saw, they're down 14-7. Did they lose? Man, if Miami beat them, man, Miami's got to be considered the favorite. Yeah, last I saw, it was 14-7 Miami. Wow, they lost. Wow, that's something else. How about Notre Dame throwing a hissy fit? We should have been playing. We should have been playing. Shit, you guys lost. You guys went 10-2. You guys didn't have a very good schedule. Hell, if I would have told them, I would actually would have told Notre Dame to rethink their ACC schedule. Like, listen, we're supposed to play you guys, but we don't want to play every single team in the ACC. We want to play just consistently the top 5, and that's what they did. They signed that long-term deal with Clemson because Clemson's the best team in the best team in the conference. They signed a long-term contract with them to play every year, not rotate. And that's what they should do. They should go to the 5 best ACC teams and say, we're only going to play you guys because you guys are the only ones that really matter. For as far as strength of schedule goes, then you wouldn't be on the outside looking in. Wow. How about that? My favorite movies this year were When Jack Came Home. It's a drama, family drama. That was my number one. My number two was No Tears in Hell. Number two. Number three was Malicious. Malicious was number three. Let's see. Four, I would say, would be Flux. I would say Flux would be my number four. My number five would have been let's see, my number five would have been let me see if I can find it here. Oh god, watched it early. Let's see. I say number five would probably been Greet Your Demons. I really like that quite a bit. I like Simp. That'd be my number six film. Um, Oddity. Oddity would be my number seven. My number seven would be Oddity. Uh, let's see. Gosh, see as far as 10 goes. So I need three more. I will say this: I didn't see Hunter x Hunter. That'd be my number eighth film. Number eight would be Hunter x Hunter. Um, hmm. Uh, um, see, number nine would probably be Made in Italy, and number 10 would be The Cellar. I also enjoy Z quite a bit too. Z was better than I expected, but the worst movie I saw this year was Presence and Flight Risk. Happy New Year, Nate. I just got that movie. I don't know if yeah, I have to watch it. I just got Weapons this week. The library. The library did not do me very good this year as far as releasing current films. Um, last Tuesday was probably the best haul I got all year round of recent movies. Up to that point, I really have been it really struggled this year as far as getting movies recent releases. It really struggled because they don't buy as many copies as they used to. They used to buy, like, if there was a movie that came out that was really popular, they would buy like four DVDs and four Blu-rays because people would rent it out all the time. But they've gotten rid of that to where it's like now it's like maybe two DVDs and two Blu-rays, not very much. So and then you have to wait a long time for them to drop. And so it's been pretty poor this year as far as getting physical media at the library. I mean, just like I said, this was the best week of, and it was the last week of the year. So hopefully that will change because I didn't do a whole lot of 2025 movies because I just didn't get them, and I don't go to the theater. I just really there's if you saw my watch list, if you saw my watch list, you could understand completely why I don't even bother going to the theater anymore. There's just no point to it. I got hundreds of movies to go through. I mean, I literally hundreds. I don't need to go to the theater and spend 35, 40 bucks. I can just grab a, frozen pizza here for $8 and watch movies in my house. Oh, it is indeed 12:06. Oh, yay, happy New Year. I can hear everybody shooting off their guns. I don't know. I want to see those Bring Her Back. I want to see that, and I also want to see Talk to Me, which never came. They never dropped at the library. I waited for that, and I waited for that. It never came. It never came. I thought for sure, but a lot of the movies that the library gets are movies that I think people ask for. I don't think their buyer would actually go out there and buy weapons. I think that people went up to the library because you could do this. I didn't know this, but you can actually go up to the library, and if there's a book that you want or a movie that you want, you can go up there and ask for them to buy a copy, and they might do that. They might take it down if they have it within the budget. They might go out there and get it. Well, I guess I made it to midnight. I guess that was pretty cool. We've been on for 2 hours, so that was fun. Um, I'll be back here on the 6th of January. I'll be talking with our good friend Barb from Fear the Talking Heads. We'll be doing 8 questions with, and we'll be talking to her on the 6th. And of course, as far as live stuff goes, that was basically it. I'm going on the road to Hey Internet. It's Eric's channel on the 9th at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 o'clock Pacific. I'll be being interviewed by our good friend Eric, and that'll be a lot of fun. And hopefully, you guys can come out there and hang out with us. And feel free to ask some questions. We'll get 8 questions up and running again real soon. Um, yeah, got to find some people to talk to, and once I do, then we'll bring some people in here and get this party started again. But I want to thank everybody who came out and hung out with us earlier tonight. I appreciate it. Uh, Man, it's good to see you guys again. Okay, I why do gosh, I'm trying to think of. I know your name. I do. I'm thinking. I think I'm actually am starting to have some spark plugs here. I want to say it's Tracy, but I don't think that's it. That's not the name. God, let me make sure. Like, God, this is embarrassing. But I haven't seen you in over a year. Yeah, we gotta get you back up and running. Yeah. Wow. So I'm looking at your playlist now, and you didn't eat. Jeez, your content's still fire. All right, we're out of here. Thanks for watching, and happy New Year. And we'll see you soon. Peace.